Hi everyone, thought I'd pop back in for Roxy's Journal of Stitchery with the Wildflower prompt. So I thought I hadn't done anything here with these little branches. I kind of thought I'd do, I'm using this variegated thread. This one. I don't have the DMC number with me, it's in the other room. I'm just going to do a little bit of, there's 2 strands, so I think, okay, maybe stem stitch. That was probably, don't want it that big, so I'll just come back. I think I want little stem stitch. You can come up in the middle of the stitch or to the side of the stitch for stem stitch. How's everyone going? Been chatting to new subscribers, it's lovely. Chatting to old mentors and subscribers. Been catching up on, I've actually, honestly, I've had a couple of days of, just sometimes I just want to sit and play with paper, and I don't want it to always be in the public eye. Not that it's anything to hide. What I mean by that is sometimes I just want to enjoy having a play in my own little world, in my own space. So I've had, I think, 3 days of making ephemera for some junk journals, and that's been wonderful. I'm just loving these prompts. I think it was quite interesting just observing how I'd started and where it had changed to. Where it's grown and formed new ideas and new stories. So I'm enjoying it very much. Not much else has been happening really. Just having my own little quiet time, my own space with paper. Love it. Now I think I will get some of these this linen that had that design on has it's very painterly, the design, so there are little gaps where there are bits missing or where it's just sort of hinted at. I've been covering over slowly with these little flowers I've cut out. I've been covering that little stamped image. I decided it didn't work for me, so covering it up, why not? The other thing, I think the other thing I've done since that I haven't shown is that on the branch here I decided to do seed stitch, but I wanted to do it quite large, so I've got a it's in the other room, a mushroomy sort of colour, like a bit slightly more pinkish mushroom, and I've got 6 strands, and then I've got a darker brown, and I've used 2 strands of the floss to create, you know, it's a bit rough. It's like a rough bark texture, and I love it because I think this is my thread painted part on this, and I didn't work out anything about here. I've almost been feeling like putting on, you know, something sort of solid under there to kind of hold that out, but well, we'll get to that a bit later. Okay, just finish off these stems. Oh, that makes it all the difference. They don't look like they're just floating in the air there. This is probably actually meant to be a leaf, but let's just get it to the point. And my thread's too short. Probably about, maybe, probably about here. Yes, might have to tie it off with something else on the back. Yeah, I'll tie it off after. The other thing I've been doing is this little spring colour, because I was aware I was starting the Wildflowers, but I just felt it was good to have sort of a flow into the page. So I've been using this one that I consider as a bit of more of a spring colour. Just getting 2 strands. Here's my little flower needle threader, ready to go. Just 2 strands. So thank you to all the subscribers that are keeping on. I think when you have a channel for what did I work it out, 4.5 or 5 years? Yeah, it must have been just after. Yeah, I've had my 5-year cancer-free celebration, and so I think I started it sort of after that. Something to occupy my mind. But I was watching 49 Dragonflies. I hadn't watched her channel for a little while, but she was talking about how even someone with a big channel can notice that if people watch but don't subscribe, people don't comment or don't like, how you notice it as a business person if you're running a channel, a YouTube channel, and you know how it is actually important for people to do all those things. And I have to say, this is a conversation I probably should put in a separate video, but I have to say that I had a business meeting with myself the other day. Now that probably sounds funny to a few people, but I did. It was really quite good. It was very productive. It was a productive business meeting with myself. So if anyone knows anything about I guess if some of you are more junk journal-y and junk journalers, you might make junk journals because you like writing in your journal. So it was sort of a conversation with myself where I just I have talked about The Artist Way before. The Artist Way is a book about a creative way of getting yourself out of a creative block if you've got a bit of a block. And it's all about every day writing a little page, or writing a journal entry just to get your thoughts out, to help unblock yourself. So I felt like my business meeting with myself was a little bit like that. It was a little bit of I've had a lot of thoughts in my head about this channel for a while, and I haven't really got, I guess, clear in my mind. I kind of likened it a little bit to a long-term relationship. So when you're coming up to 5 years, it is a long-term relationship, and I haven't seen the growth that other people have seen really, really quickly. And I have to admit that partly I do have an anxiety disorder, so sometimes I do get a bit down about events in my own personal life that mean I actually don't want to be. I don't want to be on the camera, really. That's the bottom line of that. However, I think that every human being has a right. Oh, it's pretty, isn't it? Has a right to have a go at things, to be in the world with their talents and their creativity. And so time and time again, when I think my channel didn't grow as much as other people's have really quickly, I have had to think about, am I doing the right thing? Is this the right thing? Am I doing mostly embroidery when my passion was firstly journals, bookmaking, paper? And so it's an interesting conversation that I ended up having with myself. And as with morning pages, there's no right or wrong answer. There's no, you got it right, you got it, wrong or anything like that. It's just clearing the air for a little bit more of whatever it is you choose. So I was talking to Huss the other day about it, and just saying some of those things after I'd had my little business meeting. It does sound a bit mad, doesn't it? But it really wasn't. It was very productive. And he said, just keep going with it. And I was like, okay. Why did he say that? But I think what he was saying was that he supported me, that this was something that was a part of who I am as a creative artist, and that he supports me to keep creating, which is pretty good coming from a guy who's not creative at all, like he's a sports person. So that's pretty nice, pretty kind of him. Okay, I'm loving these little daisies. They're preempting the wildflower, I think, because this was the blooms, spring blooms, and it is very spring bloomy still, but it's preempting into here. So I want to now move into this next prompt that we started last Wednesday. Believe me, I have been doing quite a bit on it, but I just didn't want to do it all on camera this week. So I've got my bird in my nest. Where are we up to? So I've added this little bloom here. I think I might have got this from Melanie. It's a satin with prints of flowers on, and I just felt that this was the way I started, but it's really gone on into other kind of areas. So I thought if I put something here like this, I'll tell you what. No, it's not long enough. I've added this little bit of blooms because I've been, like I showed last week, I've been cutting these bits out from the pack I got from Spotlight, just to add a little bit of colour and to try and blend them over and across a little bit more. So that's them. Then we got the spring bulbs. Thanks, Kate, for reminding me I wanted to do Trapunto. And a little bit of a flower here. It's still a little bit, it still is field notesy, I think. Then we've got, then I've got my spring. Now I did find my stamps, but I haven't done the stamping yet. I think I'm going to put nest down there. Now, here we go. That was the spring blooms, and now we're into summer. So, I don't want to, I've started getting ready for the next prompt, even though, of course, we don't know what it is yet, but I'm preempting that possibly I've got an inkling what it might be. So this is what I've done so far. I've got a bit more of that satin. I just love it. It's beautiful, isn't it? It's so gorgeous. I've done the word summer, so I've got my spring in green, my summer in a very hot yellow. It's a very warm yellow. I've just started adding even more bits and pieces of these in here, and I've added a couple of little bits of scraps and another one of these little tickets on the material that Christine from Creating Craft with Christine got from, she got them from Melanie actually, or she got them from the D-Stash Market. So that's not necessarily, it wasn't necessarily from Melanie's stand, although it might have been, I can't remember. Anyway, this is where I'm up to with this. Now, I found this, and I can't remember if I got this from Susanna or Melanie or in Tasmania. I honestly think we need a sticky note on each of these so we know what it was that where we got it from. But I found it, and I was putting it on, and I was thinking, okay, this is my flower, my wildflower page, but the next page I wanted to put a bit of a background, and I only stitched down half. And then when I only stitched down half, all of a sudden I thought, oh, hang on, that's a little pocket. So I've left it as a pocket, and I made a little tag, and here's my little wildflowers tag. I've put the wildflowers on the back. I probably could do more on it, but at the moment there might be a prompt. You never know where that seems to work. So that's where I'm up to with this. I think, no, I think I'll thread my needle up again. Might use the whole 4 strands. Now, I've got the spring still, even though this is a summer page. I should have bought my little really warm hot summer variegated thread in. But, however, this is really the first prompt, so there's another, you know, potentially two days. By the end, we might be at red fire danger in the colouring. No, that won't work. That doesn't fit. I need a bigger needle. I've got so my little dressmaker's dummy needle holder with the apron. I've put one of these little magnetic things. So they should really be in my little needle case, but they've ended up there. That's all right. Maybe this hole will be bigger. Because I wanted to do a little bit here, like the centres of the flowers. Just some a couple of French knots for the centres. Just work out 3 French knots in these larger ones. It was such a good find, those this little packet spotlight. I've really loved using them to create this mega wildflower patch. 3 or 5? I don't know. Let's see what looks right. I think 3. I think I like 3. Don't want to clutter it up. It's just enough to add a bit of dimension to those flowers. Putting that in the centre. And I don't mind that there's still, as I said, a bit of spring colouring coming through into the summer. Yeah, I think 3. 3 works. I've also been thinking this little bit I ended up putting little crosses and lines, so it's just thread painting, mark making thread painting. But these ones I've just used that white cotton, this one. J&P Coats 6 cord 36. It's just really, it's old. I got it in someone's stash, but just says cotton thread. But I love it, that one. That one's a really good one. I really enjoy that. Okay, so that's some French knots in the centres. But I have been thinking, because I've got like a big, this is quite large behind, and I don't want to put too much behind here because I don't want to take away from the tag. I might, yeah, I've just been thinking about if I'm cantha stitching any of this at all. Done a little bit down here. Put a little bit of this stuff throughout. Maybe I'm going to do a little, just a quick experiment through here to see if I actually want to do that, or if it isn't what I like the look of. Yeah, I think because I've reverted back to my original style, I think I'm liking doing that. I mean, my original style wouldn't normally have had such elaborate embroidery, but that's fine. I mean, that was good. I learned something doing that, so that was a good thing. Oh yeah, okay, it fills in a little bit an area that kind of is a little bit blank to me. What else have I done? Oh, summer. No, it wasn't summer. Oh no, it was on here. So I stitched on that bit onto the background and then stitched the word Wildflowers, and I had done it in that paler yellow, or even this might have been this yellow, orangey yellow, and I thought it didn't stand up enough, so I got the green variegated of this one. I got some of this, just 2 strands, and I had done, let's see, a kind of a back stitch, but what I did, because I thought it doesn't show enough, came through with 2 strands of this and went through every single back stitch. So I've wrapped each of the stitches. So I feel it's still a little bit hard. It would have probably been better to do it on a clear background, you know, just like because this spring is very clear because it's big lettering on the white background. But I didn't, and it's there. That's it. And I don't think you can see, but I've got little crosses to put the little handle of the tab on. I do think I know what I'm going to add. I just realised I wanted to add something to this while we're all over the place. This is the hot summer, isn't it? Hot summer day with the wildflowers. That's my thing. Some of these have been a bit of fun to couch the little ends that are just sticking up. That's what I want to put on that. All right, there's my needle. Okay, let's get another needle. What about some of that? I think I'll put more flowers. Like I'll definitely put a couple more around here just to cover that little spot. Probably don't need more little daisies, and I've got blooms and one big bloom. I think I might use a little bit of the white just to secure this first, a bit of the cotton. Still a little bit froggy in the throat, but for the most part it's cleared up. Now Nora has it. We had a laugh because you forget, but when you get a bad cold and you get that really bad runny nose, and we both said, where does all the water come from? Where does it all come from? It's like, I had no idea I had so much water up in my sinuses to be running like that. Anyway, maybe that's TMI, but okay. This is what it needed. It just needed something to pretty it up. Oh, I really like it. And this was the doilies that I dunked into the acrylic paint mixed in the water. Gave it a little colour bath. So I think we're all slowly settling down here after Lily's move. Her friend doesn't use her car. She catches the train to work during the week. So she's actually lent Lily her car, which is very, very kind. And she just basically picks it up on Sunday after work, because she works Sundays. She has Friday and Saturday off. And then she drops it back into her friend on the Friday on her day off. And so they're going, Lily and Lissa, it's Father's Day here on next weekend, so they're both going to see their dad, which is nice. Sometimes, I don't know about anyone else, if they've been divorced for a long time and they think that their ex-partner is sort of still their friend. I want to go, like, it's weird. It's a weird thing. It's a very weird thing. Anyway, they're going to see him, and Lily hasn't seen him since she's back, so he actually doesn't know about her job or about where she's living. So that's interesting. But, well, we knew it was going to be a little bit difficult because generally she's, aside from being in Queensland, she's never really lived that far away from me. When she was living on her own, it was about 18-minute drive. It's not too bad. But, you know, she is now 30 to 50 minutes depending on the traffic and the time of day. But, you know, it's not always so easy because she's working full-time as well. So I don't know when we're going to see each other. It's one of those difficult ones. But I'm glad she's here. And I've made a time. If anyone's new, they won't know that my other daughter, Liz, is just got back from overseas. But at Christmas, we gave each other exactly the same present. And it was a build-your-own little tram, like a little model of a tram. And it was just so funny that we'd given each other the same present, but we're still building it. We're coming nearer and nearer to the end, honestly. Just going to come up through the back there. Is it Sakura tram, because it's got the Japanese cherry blossoms. Oh, that's better. Oh no, I like that much better now. The cherry blossoms are all these fiddly, tiny, weeny little flowers. So anyway, we've made a time to get together again to build the next stage. I think we might be up to doing the lights, and it will be the first time either of us have done like LED type of light type of things. So that's going to be fascinating. Little battery and some wiring we've got to do. Quite fun. Now, what am I doing? I think I'm just going to thread it through to add another colour. Thread it through some of these little chains. Let me see. Maybe I do want to do a French knot. Oh yes. All right, let's do French knots around the circle. So it's always a creative work in progress. You just don't know, do you? I think I did a 4, then a 3, and I think I prefer the 4. Here we go. Anyway, so Saturday week, I think Liz and I are going to get together and do the next stage of our little model building. Funny. So being as it's Lily's day off, she may be at Ollie's, so she may pop over and say hi as well. Isn't that nice? Isn't that nice to have both your daughters in one city, close to each other again, after really 3 years of it being sort of on and off. Okay, one more. See if I can fit one more in, and then it will be perfect. It's hard with a really long needle when you're getting to the end. don't know if I said last week, the beautiful old ginger cat that I was minding stopped eating. His parents were away, owners were away. I've been looking after him for 7 years, and he was 15, and the owners went away, and it was the first time they'd gone overseas in, I don't know, I think they said since 2008 or something, so for quite a while. They've done little trips to Queensland, and they've got relatives in Canberra. What's this doing? I think that's secured enough. But he stopped eating at day 3 or 4, and the last 3 days he didn't eat, and they got home on the 3rd day at night, and he just basically kept going into his little cushion, and they said, look, he sleeps all the time, you know, he's getting on, he sleeps a lot, don't worry about him. And I thought, oh, I'm glad they're coming back. But anyway, they did text me 2 days later to say he had liver failure, and so they had him put down. So that was sad. That was sad because he was my first ever pet sitting job. My first, you know, when I put my first ad up, he was my first one. So it's sad, but that's what happens. As with Amelia last year, they go. That's it. When it's their time, it's their time. But another client that doesn't have any more cats to be looked after. So I think, I don't know, maybe feels a little bit like sometimes like I'm on the downward, you know, into retirement with the cats. I can't say that because the cats I'm minding at the moment, she's just arrived this morning in Italy, very, very tired, but she goes hiking, and so she's on a tour or something, and she said she just arrived in Italy and it was like midnight, and she just had to go to, I mean, she just loves getting the photos of her cats. She's got 3. But she had to go to bed because she had to be up at 6 a.m. for the tour. I don't know what tour. I should have asked her. She does a lot of hiking, so I'm not quite sure if she's there to do a hike. Last time she was in Macedonia or somewhere where she said she didn't have much phone reception. But she's booked me all up for she's got a year in advance. She's booked up till January 2026 with all her trips, all her hikes and her trips overseas and everything. So I guess it's not finishing anytime soon, the pet sitting. Okay. What do I need to do? I've got to stamp the word nest there. I think because I've got summer here, I might stamp spring blooms and put it somewhere. I might have to stamp it. I mean, there's no place to stamp it. I might have to put it on a separate bit of just a white or something. Spring blooms. I've got the word summer and a tag which says wildflowers, so I don't really need to write wildflowers again. I could actually have a little strip of, like I say, a off-white scrap bit of sheet or something material down here with wildflowers written down here. That's a possibility too. Okay, that's it for now, I think. Love my little birdie. Okay, well, glad you came along for this little journey, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.